Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, a Raven who is also Brooke, and in today's video, I will be talking about DJ AKADEMIKS and my disdain for him. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and to follow me on all my social media platforms, and remember that this is my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Nothing in this video I'm saying is fact, so please don't take it as such, and let's just get right into the video. So DJ AKADEMIKS' real name is Livingston George Allen, and he is originally from Spanish Town, Jamaica. And he didn't move to America until he was about 12 or 13 years old, where he ended up living with his mother. He ended up going to Rutgers University and he got a bachelor's degree in biomathematics. And while he was at Rutgers University, that's when he became a disc jockey for their radio station, WRSU-FM. And also while at Rutgers, he also became a pretty well-known DJ around the area and would DJ most of their parties. Now, while he was at Rutgers and while he was working at their radio station, he began to get backlash from the university because he wasn't necessarily playing music on their radio station. He was mainly being like a gossip type radio station, nothing of substance really. And while he was getting momentum on the radio, that is when he began to first make his YouTube channel. And that's where he made his first YouTube channel, King AKADEMIKS. And on that channel, he primarily just talked about hip hop and just situations that were happening between artists, and also while reviewing hip hop albums. It is also alleged that when he was in school, him and another friend of his, Alvin Capalanga, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced his last name, but it's alleged that they were stealing around campus. And I found like on a Reddit post where there was a flyer and a text message between someone that showed that it looked like a wanted poster that was saying that these two people are allegedly stealing from Rutgers University students. And then I saw one Reddit post saying that they were RAs, or he knew a RA and he was getting keys from this person. So it hasn't been definitely said like he was stealing, but it is alleged out there that he was stealing from students while at that university. Now, AKADEMIKS didn't get his first real breakthrough on YouTube until he started his War in Chiraq channel. And at this time, I still didn't know who this man was, but while he was doing this War in Chiraq channel, he was essentially just talking about all the violence that was happening in Chicago, as well as the booming drill music scene that began happening in the mid 2010s, especially with Lil Durk and Chief Keef. And many people also credit him to giving more of a spotlight to artists like Lil Durk, Lil Reese, Fredo Santana, Chief Keef, and King Von. And then eventually he began to actually interview these people and explicitly asked him about the violence that was happening in Chicago. And DJ AKADEMIKS got a lot of backlash for this War in Chiraq channel and the way that he perpetuated these individuals. A lot of people said that he was looking at these people as characters. And honestly, I never thought about that myself, because when you do look at some of his videos, he definitely is talking about them as if it's a TV show or a movie and not actual real life, and like people aren't actually losing their lives. So I definitely understand that criticism, but I hate to play devil's advocate with this man. But if you want to play devil's advocate, yes, he is only reporting on what he is seeing, and he is entitled to how he reports it. But I absolutely understand the opinions that he looked at these people as characters and not as actual human beings going through these traumatic things at such a young age. And then even I remember there was a video that he did with King Von when he was talking about King Von's beef with the late FBG Duck. And the way that he was kind of just, you can tell that he doesn't care about these people. He was egging it on more than anything. I'm pretty sure he knew that the questions he was asking, he already had the answers to.
Saddened by the news that he was murdered then.
Man, that shit hurt. I ain't even go to sleep at night. I can't believe that shit. Hold on, man.
And I just, again, you can just see the way that he viewed these young men. And I have my own opinions about how people view, Black men who do live in a very volatile environment. But to keep it short, I do hate how they're dehumanized, and I do hate how people miss the fact that they're under the ages of 18, visibly seeing their friends killed. And I just don't like the way that we just, again, yes, there is accountability on their end, but at the end of the day, we can't empathize with them for being in this very traumatic environment. DJ Academics even found more mainstream success in the media when he became a co-host on Everyday Struggle with Complex back in 2017. And other co-hosts included Joe Budden, Wayno, and Nadeska Alexis. And now this, I do remember this being my first time just seeing the face of him, because everyone knows the Egos interview that happened at the BET Awards where they were about to fight Joe Budden, and then Academics is kind of in the corner looking confused and just looking taken aback. So that was my first time just seeing his face, and I didn't even know who he was. But that's a very infamous Everyday Struggle interview. And then another infamous Everyday Struggle interview is an interview that he did with the rapper Vic Mensa. And Vic Mensa is actually from Chicago, and he confronted DJ Academics face to face because apparently DJ Academics had talked about a friend of his who I believe lost his life.
You were a little bit repulsed by the fact that so many people outside the culture of Chicago, they hyped up the music not knowing that real lives are being affected. How do you feel about that?
I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly. People exactly like you made a following off of clowning situations that we go through in real life. Whatever made you feel like you had a space to have a perspective on our people dying?
Drill was so hyped up by everyone. I had to give a different perspective. The content was not just negative.
It was just negative, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really think you're a bitch. Who made you eligible to even weigh in? You sitting at a computer fucking typing, you talking about real shit. What you know about that, bro? Those are ballsy things to say, not coming from a ballsy person. It's just kind of sick when it's real people dying young. I'm at those funerals. Man, that's some whole shit.
Again, like I was saying earlier, this is actually their real life, and this is actual trauma that they are experiencing. And it is alleged that that's kind of when Complex began to see the ramifications of having DJ Academics on this platform, because DJ Academics would talk recklessly about a lot of hip hop artists and then them having to basically face him. And most of the time, when you look at how DJ Academics reacts when he is face to face, not through Twitter, not through stream, when he is face to face, met with someone that he has talked about, it's just interesting to see how he kind of like stutters over his words, or he kind of tries to like smooth down what he actually said and just downplay the words that he said, or he'll try to gaslight that person into saying like, well, I didn't even mean it that way, like why are you reacting this way, it's not even that serious. So it's just an interesting thing to witness, considering the things that happens with him in the future with other artists. And Everyday Struggle did end up concluding in December of 2020. Now let's get into some notable beefs that DJ Academics has gotten throughout his career. First, let's start off with Freddie Gibbs. Now, him and Freddie Gibbs have basically been going back and forth and have had a disdain for each other for 5 years now. And it started back in 2020 when Freddie Gibbs had called Atlanta rapper Young Jeezy irrelevant. And then DJ Academics clapped back at him and said, well, Freddie Gibbs, you are irrelevant. And ever since then, a lot of physical threats have been aimed at Academics from Freddie Gibbs, alleging that he will kill him. And then DJ Academics has said that Freddie Gibbs is just a has-been essentially, and there was an incident where Freddie Gibbs had got a woman pregnant, and DJ Academics tried to get this woman on his platform, and DJ Academics alleged that this woman was having sex with other people while she was pregnant. And he also said that if he would have given this woman $1,000, he would have been able to name the child, which is okay. And Freddie Gibbs has always gone on songs ever since 2020, just taking straight shots at Academics, and the most recent one was in his Alfredo 2 album that came out this year with The Alchemist. And on the song Lavish Habits, Gibbs said, "First class Virgin Atlantic stewardess, plastic. I'm still gonna squeeze Academics, that fat bastard." Now let's get on to Lil Baby. And again, you will begin to see a pattern where DJ Academics will beef with artists for years and years to come. Literally. So it all started when Lil Baby first took shots at Academics back in 2022 on his album It's Only Me. And on the song Top Priority, Lil Baby said, "Academics think that they can't get touched." And then on the song From Now On, he compared bank accounts, stating that Academics, he knows he isn't as rich as me. So after that, that is when Academics began to go back at Lil Baby and basically call him washed up, and he is becoming irrelevant as the years go on. And then during this time is when the Young Thug trial was happening. I believe Young Thug was just arrested like a few months prior. And then at that time, it was a lot of speculation that 4PF, who Lil Baby is affiliated with, was going to get hit with a a RICO charge. So Academics shot back and also said that you should be worrying about the DA Fannie Willis, who brought on the charges to Young Thug for the RICO trial that is infamous at this point. And then Lil Baby went on a Breakfast Club interview and said he doesn't understand why Academics keeps mentioning his name in the first place. And then DJ Academics said that he would testify against Lil Baby if 4PF did end up having a RICO charge. And then it just kept getting worse over the years, where Academics again kept pushing the narrative that Lil Baby was washed up and that he was becoming irrelevant. And then they ended up beefing again last year in 2024 when DJ Academics began saying that Lil Baby was painting his nails, which I'm not going to go on a side tangent, but I'm just going to say there's nothing wrong with a straight man painting his nails. I feel like, you know, that doesn't make him less masculine. That doesn't make him feminine. Like, it's not that big of a deal, people. Please. Now let's get into Meek Mill and DJ Academics. These two have had I would say a hatred for each other, again, just like Freddie Gibbs and Lil Baby, for at least 5 years at this point. Well, really like almost 10 years, because it really started back in 2017 when Meek Mill did go on Everyday Struggle to promote his album Wins and Losses. And then DJ Academics began to have criticism saying that Meek Mill was not properly promoting this album at all. And then in 2020, I feel like that's really when it jump started even more, because Meek Mill started saying that DJ Academics should be canceled because he is the quote unquote police in the Black community for the things that he reports on, especially the war of Chiraq. And he threatened to greenlight him. And I interpreted that as he wanted to kill him. And then in December of 2020, they went back and forth on the Clubhouse app. And then that is when 21 Savage joined it and then began to mediate between them and then try to squash their beef. And I do believe that it was squashed for a brief period of time. However, this ignited again even more when the lawsuit by Lil Rod against Diddy came out in February of 2024. And then DJ Academics began to speculate that Meek Mill was in the lawsuit, but Meek Mill is never explicitly stated in the lawsuit. Many people just speculated about a certain portion of the lawsuit where a person is described, and then people speculated that it was Meek Mill. And then also DJ Academics began to speculate about Meek Mill's sexuality. And then that is when Meek Mill went on Twitter and began to defend himself and say disparaging things about DJ Academics. And those disparaging things did include, again, threatening his life. And then that is when Academics then said that Meek Mill was an alcoholic. And then in 2025, the most recent thing that Meek Mill has said about Academics is that basically he needs to be canceled because of what happened earlier this year, which I will get into, where DJ Academics was very, 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 very inappropriate with a 15-year-old boy while on stream. Now, this next beef that I'm going to talk about is between Young Miami and Saucy Santana versus DJ Academics. And I wanted to include a beef that happens with a woman because I wanted to all come full circle when I talk about my final thoughts. Now, DJ Academics first went at Young Miami back in 2022 when her and Diddy were more public with their relationship, and then it was revealed that Diddy had another baby. And then that is when DJ Academics just came out of nowhere and called Young Miami a side chick. And then Young Miami then went on Twitter and defended herself and said, "I'm not a side chick, it never happened." And then AK alleges that Diddy then sent him a DM. We don't know what the DM said, but then AK ended up apologizing to Young Miami for calling her a side chick. And then months later in 2023, everything started to brew again when Young Miami went on Jason Lee's podcast with Revolt. And then that is when she was asked about Academics. And in this interview, she did call Academics a gay slur, and I will not repeat it, and basically was saying, like, why does he keep trying to beef with me? I'm a woman. He needs to stay in a man's place, essentially. And then AK went on Vlad TV and addressed what Carisha said and called her a hypocrite and said that she is homophobic for her comments that she keeps saying to DJ Academics. And that is when he began to get into it with Saucy Santana, who was defending Carisha, aka Young Miami, who was also his best friend. And now they said very, very harsh things to each other. Academics went on a stream and called Santana a lot of gay slurs himself. And that is when Santana came back at him and threatened to R-word him. And then Academics then went on a live stream and addressed it. And he began crying, saying that him saying these homophobic things was a triggering thing of his past where he was homophobic. So yeah. Now I'm going to talk about two things which my point in this video is to just say how I feel like Akademiks is like a roach, and he is like one of the worst people in the hip hop community, in the media space, period. And the first thing that makes me look at him as a roach that needs to be ostracized from the hip hop community, from the media space, is when he was hit with a allegation from his ex-girlfriend in 2024, and this incident happened in 2022. And I'm so sorry if I mispronounced her name, but her name is Fazia Abashe. And Fazia alleges that in July 16th of 2022, she was invited to DJ Akademiks' house, and when she was there, she was greeted by two of his friends who are named in the lawsuit as John Doe 1 and 2. And she alleges that while she was in a hot tub with them, that they her and they began to feed her a lot of alcohol, and next thing you know, she was R-worded on the pool deck. And then she alleges that DJ Akademiks then came and proceeded to R-word him himself. Fazia did go to the police, but she did not file a police report. However, she did get a kit, and she also took pictures where she had bruises on her arms, her buttocks, her legs. And also it's alleged that during the exam that Akademiks ejaculation was inside her. And also in the lawsuit, it says that there is a recorded wired phone call where Akademiks does admit that they did have sexual intercourse, and he was vividly describing it, and even vividly described her vagina. And also she alleges that AK showed her video of this attack where her body looked basically lifeless, and that is when she began to know that something was wrong. And AK also sent text to her telling her that she should get tested and he would get tested as well. And what threw her off about that is prior to that day, they hadn't had sex in over a year. So she was very thrown off by the fact that why would you also get tested in the first place? And she did stay silent until AK went on a stream and alleged that she had a consensual with his friends. Now, DJ Akademiks alleged that the police did come to his house with a warrant, and that the police told him that he had no criminal wrongdoing in what Fazia is alleging. However, Fazia alleges in the lawsuit that when this warrant was served, that DJ Akademiks then proceeded to destroy potential evidence. And also, this next thing that I want to talk about, because I cannot concretely find evidence that this is true, I'm going to say this is alleged. But I don't know if many people remember back in, I believe, either late 2023 or early 2024, there was a video that was going around of a woman basically screaming in the background while DJ Akademiks was on stream. And it is speculated that this was concretely Fazia. And again, I can't find concrete proof that this was her, but I do absolutely remember this video circulating around this time where, again, a woman was visibly screaming in the background of this DJ Akademiks video. And if you know more details about this, please leave it in the comments below so many people can have more context to what this incident was. Now, this next thing that I'm going to talk about happened as recently as January of 2025. And this is when DJ Akademiks was on a stream with a 15-year-old whose name I will not disclose. If you want to find out this person's name, you can go online and find it yourself. He was on stream with this 15-year-old boy while he was moderating on the Discord app. DJ Akademiks proceeded to ask very, very inappropriate questions, downright creepy ass questions to a 15-year-old boy. And here are the things that he had said. He proceeds to say, Playboy Max said he wanted to try effing with you. Would you let Playboy Max F you? The boy said no. DJ Akademiks says, why not? You always wanted me to be next to you. I don't feel comfortable saying that part. And then he says, pause. Surely further into the conversation, DJ Akademiks raised a graphic hypothetical question, asking the team moderator if he would have sex with an adult. He said, if Playboy Max got a sister and she threw you the box, would you smash? And then the team proceeds to say, no, because I am 15. And then DJ Akademiks said, what does that mean? And then the 15-year-old boy, mind you, has the common sense to say, she's above 18. It would be grooming. And DJ Akademiks was then banned from Twitch for this incident. And now I'm about to go into my thoughts about this man. And I'm sorry if it feels like I'm ranting, but DJ Akademiks is someone where I literally look at him as a roach to society. He adds nothing of value to society. And with, again, the allegations, with this incident with the 15-year-old, you think that hip hop would then say, can we please stop this man? Everything of non-value that this man has added to the community. Why do we keep giving him chance after chance? Why do we keep giving him a platform? Why do these people in the hip hop community, including people like Joe Budden, who himself is a cluster of issues? Why do we keep giving him this hand like he again is welcomed in the media space, period? He should not even be having a platform, period. All he does is sit in that sweaty chair and talk about people, where it is evident that he in real life he will never ever go to these people and actually face the fire of what he says. And let me go back to the Young Miami incident and why I feel like that was so significant, because while he was arguing with Saucy Santana, now mind you, Saucy Santana is a gay man, and he physically threatened Saucy Santana, but when you look back at Freddie Gibbs and Meek Mill, when they physically threatened him, he always said that he would call the police. Interesting. So basically, anyone that has femininity to them, if you're a woman or a gay man with femininity to you, he doesn't see you as a threat. But when a straight male threatens him, it's, oh, I'm about to call the police. He doesn't have this buckness to him, because even when you see how he argues with men, again, he definitely argues with men, but he still almost tries to keep it borderline respectful in the words that he says to them. But when it comes to women, he is so aggressive. There's even a video out there where he is physically pushing a woman that I would insert in this video. But I say all that to say, even when you look at what happened with Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, where Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion, he was very much on Tory Lanez's side, saying very disparaging things about her and calling her a liar. And rightfully so, Megan Thee Stallion is having him testify against a defamation case that she has against a very, I don't even want to call her a blogger, I don't even want to give her that credit, just a woman who was spreading lies, Milagro, against Megan Thee Stallion. This woman Milagro was literally spewing out lies and pushing it, and it's alleged that Tory's team was having her spew out these lies, that DJ AKADEMIKS was a part of that he was also being paid and pushed to do these lies. So rightfully so, he has to testify in this trial. And now he's crying about how, oh, Roc Nation is after to get me and da-da-da-da-da. And I saw a video by, I believe it was Wayno, where he was addressing the things that's happening with DJ AKADEMIKS, trying to say that Roc Nation is trying to ruin his life. And in the comments, someone said, and this is a fact that I wish that I can put on a billboard and plaster to these podcasters and quote unquote bloggers, that you cannot sit here and say lies about someone and think that you're about to get away with it. No, you absolutely need to be sued. You absolutely need to be held accountable for what you say, because when you go to thousands of people and basically defame someone's name with something that you probably know damn well is not true, why do you want to sit here and now cry and say that you are now a victim of the system, a victim of the higher ups? Now I will understand if, okay, you're saying that Roc Nation did something to you directly, where maybe they were messing with your money or da-da-da-da-da. But no, you decided to sit here and lie about someone. You absolutely need to be held accountable. Like, what are we talking about here? I just really don't understand. And even when you look at, for example, the Drake and Kendrick beef, all these things that DJ AKADEMIKS was alleging that Drake was going to do were false. Even when it comes to this UMG lawsuit where it was dismissed, DJ AKADEMIKS talking about, oh, like Drake is going to win, he's going to become a billionaire, and da-da-da-da-da. What are you talking about? You don't know anything. You're just saying to say it. You're telling a lie. And even how recently, how JT has sent him her diss for Cardi B. I'm like, so this man has R-word allegations, and he also was talking very inappropriately to a 15-year-old boy early this year. Again, why are we giving this man space to feel like he has any opinion? Why? He is a roach. Like, he is a literal roach to society. He adds nothing of value as a commentator. And as the time is going on, you can kind of, like, I say that word loosely, kind of see how DJ AKADEMIKS' reputation is starting to just become tainted. But even, again, when the situation happened with the 15-year-old older this year, it still felt like people were giving him some type of validity, that people were trying to still give him this type of push, like he actually has anything of value to say. And also, I forgot to address the apology that he did do to, well, quote unquote apology that he said about the incident with the 15-year-old, where he was talking about, oh, people can take this and learn from it. What? Like, this man literally said that this is a teachable moment. You need to be in jail your weird. Like, again, he is a roach who adds nothing, who sits in that sweaty ass chair every day and gets on stream and lies about people where he wouldn't dare probably have this same energy or say these things to his face. And then the moment that hip hop just cuts the cord, and again, even looking at how he was dehumanizing these men and treating them like characters, like Vic Mensa said, you would think that's when, again, the hip hop community and people looked at him weirdly, because he said something interesting in a recent interview that he did with Vlad TV, where he essentially said that he necessarily doesn't look at Black Americans as if we are people that have any ambition or drive.
You go to any college these days, the people who work the hardest, we're gonna, no respect, we're moving white people out of the mix. You see them Africans who are immigrants, they fucking study all night. You see them first generation Indians, all my high level math classes, they're all in.
Oh, yeah, the Asians who don't speak English, they're busting their ass.
Killing
it. Yep, I remember all that.
I'm going to be honest with you. And other immigrants, they go crazy. Only people who I be see chilling, a lot of the Black Americans, they be in there cooling like this is a chill out. And I don't fault them because it's a mentality thing.
So that brought a lot of clarity to me as to why he talked about these men in Chicago the way he was, as to why he talks about these rappers the way he does, where he just has no respect. And even looking back, it's very interesting that he even got a spot on Everyday Struggle with Complex. Again, he adds nothing of value to anything that he says. This man literally was over here talking about that he supports Trump and that he will vote for Trump. What? He's literally friends with Aiden Ross, who I will get into in another video one day, best believe I will. So basically my overall point for this video was just to add reasoning to my disdain for DJ AKADEMIKS and how I feel like he literally is just, again, a roach who has nothing of value to say. And the minute that we began to pull the plug on him, and unfortunately, because there are such incel red pill men out there who have the same ideologies as AKADEMIKS, I don't think his platform will ever go away for a good minute. And again, strike one was the allegations. Strike two was the 15-year-old boy on the stream. Strike three, I don't know what the fuck is going to have to be for people to understand that this man is just a rodent. This man is nothing. And we need to cut the cord now. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I would love to hear you guys' opinions in the comments. Remember to keep it respectful, and remember to keep life cute, fab, and fun, and I will see you guys in the next video.